Welcome to another tutorial. I'm going to start on project 2 here. We're only going to do a few pages. I'm going to break this into different chunks so it'll give me a little bit more time to explain things, but also to keep the video short. So I'm going to start on page 66, project 2 of the book, and it tells us to open up a new document. If you have this available for you, you can click on Create New, or you can just simply go to File and New, or you can click on this. So I'm going to choose this one here for those of you that may have it. You can do it however way you want. And of course, it brings up the HTML window. Again, make sure that whatever you're doing is in HTML5. We'll leave the document title blank as we're going to actually change the document title. Click on Create, and you have it here. Notice again, all this is filled in for you with untitled document and very little information in there. So the first thing that we're actually going to do is change the title. There's several ways that you can do it. We're going to do it the way the book tells us to do it. However, you can change it just by typing it here. I'm going to go down to the document title, and it tells us to type against the clock. And then there's a pipe. If you're not familiar what the pipe is, it's like a line that looks straight up. It's generally right above the enter key with a slash. So if you hold the shift key and then hit that key over there, it will give you the pipe. Then the rest of it is special characters in typography. So I'm going to type special characters in typography. Then all we have to do is press the enter key, and it's going to change up top here for us automatically. So that was number 7. And number 8 tells us to save it. So I'm going to choose this one over here. I could also do File and Save As. So I'll do that right here. And I'm just going to type what it tells us to is typography. You do not need to type in the .html. It will, because it's going to save it automatically. So I'll click on that, and you can see typography, HTML. I'm not guaranteed I spelled it right, but I know you will. That was number 8. So the book now tells us on page 68 to work with semantic markup. That's just a fancy name. Do not be intimidated by that. The semantic markup is just the tags and the things and how they all get put together. So what we're going to do now is we're going to paste some text into the content of it. I'm going to do it different ways just to show you the different things that will happen depending upon how you do it. Normally, you're going to paste in design window. I'm going to paste in both design window and code view just to show you exactly what's going to happen for the two of them. So it wants us to open up the typography text file. You can do that just by double clicking. And it's nothing more than a text file. So we're going to choose edit and select all. A shortcut for that is Control A. And notice most of the shortcuts are right here by the menu selection. So I'm going to choose select A, select all. We have all this now selected. And then, of course, we're going to copy it. You can copy it your favorite way over here. I'm going to choose edit and copy, or you can choose this right over here. Is the exact same thing. We're going to go back to the typography document, and we're going to go to design view. And then all we're going to do is paste it. Then I'll do a split view. Here's paste, or you can do edit paste. You can Control V. Now, this doesn't look like anything, really. So let me go into code view, and you can see what it did. It put in a bunch of BRs. Remember, BRs are line breaks, but they don't start a new paragraph. It just means go to next line. Those of you that are familiar with Microsoft Word, you remember you hit the Shift-Enter key, and it gave you a new line. If you had the formatable characters on, it looked like something that looked like a little elbow in there. So you notice all that was put in for you automatically. So that's all of page 69. And we're going to go to 7. Now, number 7 on page 70 tells us to click on Find, Find, and Replace. The dilemma is when you click on Find, there's really nothing there that says Find and Replace. It's Find and Replace in Files is what they're looking for, so I'm going to click on that. Now notice I am in Code View, which is what you want to be in for this one over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace all of the BR tags, and I've already done this, so you can see I had it in here typed in with a closing paragraph tag and then an opening paragraph tag. Make sure that you put the closing tag first and then the opening one, or it will not format properly. You can try it if you want and see the results. So now that we have this, we're all ready to go. This was number 9. And also, the book tells us do not hit the Enter key. If you hit the Enter key after here, it's going to replace it with an Enter at the end. So you don't want to do that over here. I also want to emphasize over here, if you take a look at the little side note on page 70, you cannot use undo if you find and replace in a document that's closed. Remember, one of the options is to find and replace in the entire site. If the document is closed, it'll find it, replace it, and not give you an option to change it back. So be very careful about using that as well. I'm preferential to just doing everything in a single file unless you're definitely sure that's what you're going to want to do. So number 10 tells us to click on Replace All, and that's exactly what we'll do. And then you get all this stuff down here, tells you all the things that you're dying to know about, the things that have been replaced. So here you have all these things here. Let's go back into the view over here, and you notice that we have a closing P and a P. I'm going to show you how to change that later. Actually, the book explains it on the next page, but we're going to do it through something called Format Source Code. You're going to want to do that from time to time, and you'll see how much nicer your document's going to look and how much easier it's going to be able to read in CodeView. It does not have any effect on Design View. So we've done 12, and then down over here, if you need to refresh it, if you're in CodeView, you can do that. If you don't need to refresh it, that's fine. Then we're just going to close the tab group. We don't want that open anymore. So remember, if you need to click on refresh on number 13, do that. It also tells you to go to Window and Toolbars and make sure that the comment is there. That's going to allow you to do the format source code. You could also do it through the window if you want, but it's much easier to do it through source code. So we'll go up here, make sure the insertion point is placed in a code view plane, click Format Source Code. So we're going to click in here. Now, one thing is, if you don't know what something is, you can just hold your mouse over it, and it'll normally give you a toolbook. Well, we don't want to open a document. This is getting put. This is expanding. We'll talk more about that later. And this is like the format painter that you see in Word and Excel and PowerPoint. And then when you have a drop-down arrow, it gives you source code options. We want to apply the source code right here. Click on that, and it makes it easier to see. Notice we don't have a closing P and a P on the same line. So that makes it a lot nicer. Remember that a P is a paragraph tag. So I'm just going to now finish up by explaining some of the things on the bottom of page 72. We're going to end it over here. I'm going to start a new video on page 73 about formatting the headings. So again, The format menu contains the default HTML paragraph and heading styles down over here, which is down here. So you can use all that. We could select things and make it a paragraph as well. And I left out a part on purpose. The book tells you to it. Hopefully you all picked up on it, but I decided to leave it out. So if you want to make something a paragraph, notice this has a closing tag in here. If you make a mistake, you don't have to panic. Just click on anywhere in it and choose paragraph. And you're good to go. And now we have an extra P tag. Not a problem. And we don't have a P tag here. Not a problem. So let's do, first thing is, let's see if format source code resolves our problem. That's the first thing you want to do. And it doesn't. So what we'll do here is we're going to just close it manually. And we're good to go. So I'm going to try to make as many mistakes as I can in just minor things to show you when you make a mistake or you read the book and you think it says one and it's something different, how you can come across and just fix these things are very, 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 very easy. Always make sure you're saving early and often. So let's go into Design View, and this is what it looks like. Remember that we have special formatting through CSS. One of the things we're going to look at is, well, why does the special characters and typography, and you have all the space in here? That's where you're going to want to go into Code View. So to make things easier to find in Code View, make sure you have something selected. Go to Code View, and we can look and see, well, we have an extra closing P tag. So let's delete that and go back into design, and that took care of it. So again, you would have never had any way to determine what was wrong just by looking in Design View. When something doesn't look right, you have extra lines, things don't work together, then that's very easy to think. One thing I want to do now is show you what happens when you paste text in Code View. So I'm going to go back down here. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to select our text again, click on Copy. Then I'm going to go back into this document here, click on Code. And I'll just put new code here. Click on Paste. I'm going to make this a paragraph, heading 1, so it's big and bold. So let's go into Design, and look what happened. The reason why that happened there is because we pasted in Code View, so there was no paragraph tags, no BR tags, no anything here. This got treated as one giant paragraph. So you go, well, what are we going to do now? I'll show you how you can delete that over here. Just click on the H1 down here. It selects all this. Of course, you can use undo, and boom. So let's go back to design, and we're good to go. This concludes this video tutorial. Have a great day.